What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another one. Today I'm reacting to 9 weird things British people do. I personally think there's easily more than 9 things, but let's see what this person has to say.
Hi everyone, it's me. As a Canadian who has lived in the UK for the last 7 years, I have
Canadian,
noticed that the
okay.
Brits do
As a Canadian, I think there is so much cultural difference when it comes to that region and the UK.
some weird things that they think are normal. So today, I am going to share their secrets. And without further ado, let's go. Make sure to leave a
Secret.
comment down below. What is a weird thing that British people do and they think it's normal? Maybe you do it. Do you do anything weird? Let me know. Number one, it is totally reasonable to buy a caterpillar cake, and everyone knows who it is. So this little
Huh?
British quirk came up around Christmas time. My mom was here for a visit, and I had to explain who Colin the Caterpillar is. I actually made my own Colin the Caterpillar cake on Patreon a couple years ago. If you want to join me on Patreon, that'd be awesome. No worries if not. But my Colin went about as well as you'd expect it.
I'm sorry, but I've never ever heard of this. How long has this person lived in the UK? I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't say how long she's lived in the UK, but I've never ever heard of that.
I just think it is so cute and funny and silly that as a population, we all know who the caterpillar is. You don't even have to say it. Or you could just
Who's
talk
the
about
caterpillar?
Colin. I'm gonna go out and get a Colin. And everybody knows. He's just part of the family until you
Really?
eat him, of course. Number two, a weird thing that Brits do that they think is normal is consume some of the most creative sandwiches I've ever seen. Can I interest you in a chip buddy?
What?
Yes. That is a sandwich where the inside are chips. Just like the name.
Oh, actually, I've actually heard of this. I think it was something at the time I said I was never ever going to try.
Are chips. Just like the name implies. Now, again, I do have to say I made one of these on Patreon and I get it. I'm not making fun. I totally get it. There is something absurd about a chip buddy. I think we can all agree, but we can also agree that they're fabulous. You could also have a pot noodle sandwich. Or what about a fish
No.
finger sandwich?
This is okay. This is normal. I think I've had this like a whole of times, not in the UK, somewhere else. But what are you smoking? Noodle. I think that should be a crime.
Noodle sandwich. Or what about a fish finger sandwich? The Brits have just an unbelievable amount of sandwiches, and of course lots of people use different words for sandwich depending where in the UK you are. I just think it's fabulous that you could put whatever you want between two slices of bread and call it a day. Number three, we have pet names from strangers. Now, I remember very vividly when I first moved to the UK, I think I even talked about it in a video where it made me feel really uncomfortable when strangers would call me love or
Oh yeah,
sweetheart.
yeah. This did catch me off guard when I first came. But then it got even more weird when I noticed many don't even mean it. They call you those names and then they just talk at your back. That even makes it worse when like, you know,
Or
they
any of
talk
that kind
behind
of
you.
thing, because I just inherently viewed that as condescending. That's just, if you heard that in North America, sometimes that's how it comes across. But of course here, that is not what it's all about. So it is not uncommon to hear a whole variety of pet names from complete strangers, and oftentimes people you will never see again. Love, lovely, sweetheart, duck. Yes.
Oh no, I've never heard
Pet,
that before.
darling. I mean, there's so many. And while it kind of threw me off at first, now I absolutely love it. I think it's very sweet. It's just sweet. And yes, they can be used in a condescending way if the situation calls for it. Yeah, it could be done in a negative way, but
exactly.
typically it's not. I was at a cafe the other day and the woman serving me said something like, "Here you go, love." It's so nice. Or the other day, I was getting a parcel delivered, and the postie, also postie, what a great word. The postie was like, "You have a great day, sweetheart." It's like, you know what? I will have a great day. I just think it's really nice, and I do wish that Canada did it, you know? Like, you may hear the odd pet name, but it's really not done in Canada or the US on a day-to-day basis. But here it's just, you know, love, lovely, sweetheart, duck. I love it. I just think it's very sweet. And it's just a nice thing.
To be fair, yeah, I do agree with that.
Is it number 4? I hope it is. For number 4, I would like to show you a clip from one of my videos. Now, this was from a vlog that I did when I went to my first ever beer festival, or a hops festival. And this was in the video, and I was like, I don't know what that is. Can somebody help me? And everybody in the comments was like, it's Morris dancing. Obviously. So I had a little bit of a Google. The earliest known and surviving English written mention of Morris dance is dated to 1448, and it is described as a form of English folk dancing.
Oh, okay.
Fascinating. I think it goes without saying that I never saw that in Canada or America. I've just never seen it. But saying that though, I have seen it multiple times here in the UK, especially at like festivals or events or like days out, those types of things. And while it is kind of weird when you look at it, you know, you got some men sort of like slapping their feet, and usually like someone's got a stick and maybe there's like bells and stuff, and you're like, this is kind of weird. I do really appreciate the fact that people still do it. And honestly, one of the things I love about living in the UK is that you are surrounded by history. And a lot of times I mean that by the buildings and the architecture and that kind of stuff, but also with stuff like this. Yeah, when you look at it on the face of it, it's a bit silly and it's a bit weird. But I love that this is like history. And people are still doing it. Number 5,
I actually don't agree. I don't think that can be classed as weird. I just think it's something you should expect in any country, I guess. Like, you know, traditional dance, something cultural and stuff like that. I don't that is weird. Do you like? I don't know. I don't think it fits into this, because there are more things you could put into this than that. That's just
call
my opinion.
suns out, shirts off. So here in the UK, how can I describe this? Well, quite simply, when the sun comes out, the men take their shirts off. Whether they should or not, it's not part of the question. Now, where I'm from in Southern Ontario, we have some wonderful weather. I know people don't think about that. We have wonderful weather, like late spring into the summer and then like into the fall. Beautiful weather. Like 30 degrees. But if you were to walk around a small town in Ontario, like where I'm from, you would never ever see a man walking through town without his shirt on. You're not going to see it. The only time you will see like shirts off is at the beach, where it should be. But no, there is a portion of the British population that participates in suns out, shirts off. The minute the sun is out, the minute that it's even remotely nice out, men are taking their shirt off, and they're often like town center, which, please stop.
I do agree with this, because like I've lived in hot countries, like hotter countries than obviously the UK, and I've never seen a local or like someone that lives in the country itself like take off their clothes during that extremely, even when it's extremely hot. But the tourists, that's the British tourists, they're the ones always like putting off their clothes. That's even in another person's country. And I'll talk less their own country.
Those things, you know what? I'll take Morris dancing, but put your shirt back on. It's not even that hot out. Number 6, we have a very integral British quirk that so many of them do, and now I do it. And that's quite simply, when you're ready to go, when you're ready to leave some event or a friend's house or whatever, you slap your knees and you say, right, well, we best be off. You slap your knees and you say, well, better be going. You slap your knees and say, wow, is that the time? We should get a move on. There's something about slapping the knees that is so, it's so integral to British culture. And I know so many people do it without thinking. I do it now without thinking. And to be fair, it is
Yeah,
a really
everyone does
great
it.
like visual cue. Like you don't want to be rude or awkward, but you are kind of being awkward, that you want to leave, but you don't know how to say that. You can't just come out and say, okay, I think we need to go now. You have to do the knee slap. Everybody respects the knee slap. It's just wonderful. I love it. Is it weird? A little bit. I think that's fair to say it's a little bit weird, but I think it's great. Number 7 of weird things.
So, like, where I come from to, that's the same thing. Like, everywhere I've been to, that, like, you just, all right, like, I don't know, it just comes automatically. So I don't think, personally, for me, that would be weird, but yeah.
Brits do, and it has to do with how they treat people. Now, this is very confusing if you come from a country where this is not done, but let me explain. Sometimes you will find when a British person is very polite to somebody, lots of manners, very polite, very friendly, they hate that person and they
That exactly is my point. Anyway, let's just keep going.
polite, very friendly, they hate that person and they despise them. On the other hand, sometimes when you hear a British person calling another person every name under the sun, it means that they love them. The banter in
That's
this
actually true.
country is unbelievable. And this sort of like banter among friends can be really confusing. I remember my first job here in the UK, I was working in an office, and you really learn about social dynamics in an office, let me tell you. And if you come from a country that doesn't do that, it can be really alarming. There have been situations, honestly, I'll admit it, where maybe at work somebody says something that's like really mean to me, and I'm just like, oh my God, they hate me. This is it. I have to leave England. These people hate me. And then someone has to say, no, they like you. That's why they're doing it. It's banter. You're one of the group, right? You're part of the gang. But let me tell you, it is devastating. I will say, now that I've lived in England for over 7 years, when someone is really polite to me, I get worried. Because in your head, you're like, oh my God, do they hate me? Why are they
Yeah.
being so polite? Number 8 on.
So yeah, that's actually true. Even when it comes to audience, like people watching my videos, I noticed that more British people get banter, like sarcasm, banter, and stuff like they can understand. But on the other hand, I noticed Americans don't really get sarcasm. They they probably, I don't know, they kind of take things more seriously when it comes to words being thrown around and like play on words and stuff like that. So yeah, that's actually true.
Our list, is it your birthday? Oh my God, happy birthday. You bring in treats. So one thing that I found quite surprising, whenever I would arrive at the office, I'm coming in, maybe my bus had been late, not surprising, and there'd be treats out. There'd be little cakes, maybe, the little Tesco, you can get like those little miniature cakes, maybe some cupcakes, maybe some biscuits, and you're like, ooh, whose birthday is it? And it was always that person who brought in the treats. On the flip side, when I was working in Canada, I was actually at a school. So these are two like school office environments. In Canada, though, if we knew it was going to be one of the teachers' birthdays or whatever, we would bring in the treats because it's their birthday. Saying that, though, also participating
That's true.
in a kitty or in the kitty, a kitty would come around the office in England and you'd put in a couple of pounds towards a present for the birthday person. So the birthday person brings in their own treats, but at least our office, we would have a kitty with that would go towards a gift for them as well. And if your office is big enough, like we had a decent amount of people in the office, it was always somebody's birthday. There were cakes out more often than not. For number 9.
In Nigeria, it was like this. People, on your birthday, you take something in, like you take the goodies in. When I lived in Cyprus, it was different. On your birthday, people bring in things for you, and you're the one being celebrated. Like you're not celebrating it, they're celebrating you. You don't have to worry about the cake. Someone brings the cake, or they might even talk behind your back and just surprise you. And it happened like a couple of times, 3 times, sometimes three different groups of people will celebrate my birthday, like in the office, my friends outside school, and work, and they'll just people will just celebrate you. They take it seriously in that region. When I got here, I also noticed the same pattern as it was in Nigeria, where like you celebrating will bring in the goodies and stuff. So yeah, it's a very interesting contrast.
Weird things British people do that they think is normal. Can you guess? I hope you can't. And if you can guess, that's really weird. But it is, in fact, how they say goodbye. All right, it was so nice talking to you. See you later. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. See ya.
Yes,
Bye. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. I love how drawn out the goodbyes are. You sometimes see it in person, sometimes you hear it on the phone. I love it. How many times do you say goodbye when you're trying to end a conversation? Count next time.
yes,
If you'd like to
true.
watch more videos, which would be totally awesome, why not check out this one, Why Everybody Loves the UK. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye! Bye, 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 bye. See you later. Bye.
This was one of the biggest shocks for me because people just, dragging out the bias and saying, bye, bye, bye. Like it's a competition. It's not a competition. It just hang up. I, I'm someone that doesn't like long conversations anyway, so I'm so eager to just end the call and just go. Yeah, it can get awkward for me. I kind of think it's nice, but it's not for me. I think there are a lot more things she can add to this. Even the way they call like different meals at different times of the day is kind of like dinner. I've always known dinner to be what you eat at night. But for them, I think it's same as lunch. Yeah, tea is what you eat in the evening. It's just so confusing. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Let me know if you think you've been called weird for some things you've done in some other country just because you're British and you're already used to your own way of doing things. And till we see you in the next one. Peace out.